Hello guys, this is the video about the fib settings. This is how my fib tool looks like, and I will explain you everything about it and show you some examples. So basically, I always measure the ranges of the higher time frame. So like a 4-hour pivot low to 4-hour pivot high or something. This is like my main point of reference. I sometimes also measure the internal ranges, but it's less accurate and the discount is the price is less discounted. So now I will explain the levels. So the red level is the 50%. So how I use it is basically above I only look for, in a bullish trend, above I only look for sells, but I usually don't counter trend trade, and below I look for buys. So basically below the 50% is a good zone to buy, and I just stick to it. I will show some examples later. Then the OT, in my case, is 60 to 65. It's a bit better because you have a zone, not one level. So it works like a charm. And yeah, then 80% is basically heavy discount. Price usually in a trending market, price usually don't go to 80% or lower. 80% is like the last resort, basically. Then obviously the price could go all the way here to like an POI or something, but it rarely happens in a heavily trending markets and in a big like higher time frame range. Okay, so let's continue. This is how I marked the premium discount, and now I will show some examples on Nasdaq. At the end of the video also I will show the settings, or I will do it now. Here we go. Okay, so as I said, higher time frame ranges from pivot low to pivot high. Then I either draw triangle at the OT or not, or I just leave the fib there. But I like drawing the triangles, it looks a bit cleaner. And as you can see from this point, we're in discount. I've already talked about premium discount like 2 or 3 times, but I will talk about it again. Under the 50% discount, from here we can look for sells, for buys, excuse me. And then the OT, which is the optimal trend entry, optimal trade entry, and then it aligns with a hidden base right here. So what I didn't really talk about is that usually if a level like the OT aligns with some sort of a POI or liquidity or something, it usually works, and it works like a charm. So OT, liquid sweep, treasury sweep or whatever, then hidden base right here, and it just rallied to another hidden base. Then if we measure this whole range, OT right here, liquidity, tapped in, rallied, liquidity, hidden base, boom. Now again to the OT, which in this case isn't really perfect, but there is a reason why it's not perfect. We had this low, which is liquidity, because it's a weak low. There is no POI here, this only weeks. So we swept this low and then started going up again. Now you can use the fib as also a way of entering. I don't know why I have it marked like this. Let's see. Yeah, I marked it like this. So as you can see, it's like a hot zone. We only tap in the OT and then rally. I will show some more examples on the hard time frame. So we sweep these highs. Now we measure it like this, or actually not like this. Let me delete this because the pivot low is here. In this case, we came back to the 80%, but we had this EG right here. We swapped it right here. Then this was just an example because I traded it, but it was a scalp from the hidden base. In this case, it's not relevant. But if I'm not mistaken, it was also in the OT. Yep. So basically, OT, hidden base, and also some sort of level here. Here, lower time frame entry. We came back to the 80%, which there was an EG right here. Rejected of the OT. So let's go further. Okay, this is the end of the chart. Okay, let's go here. Okay, again, the OT works flawlessly. Tap into the 50% of the range. Oops. Let's see. Let's go to GU. Okay, this is a good example of a hard time frame one. So basically we had this whole bearish trend. Then I measured the pivot low and pivot high, and we just tapped into it and then rallied down. I'm not sure, there was some sort of a level here. Hidden base. Yep. Hidden base, 1 hour hidden base. Let's say that you didn't catch this and you want to grab a continuation. OTA again. And it basically works like this every time. Rinse and repeat, basically. Look at this. Like, you cannot make this up. Here, 80% of the range, 4 hour, or not 4 hour, yeah, 4 hour, but I think I Yeah, I moved it because it was refined to 1 hour. So 80%, 4 hour SNR, refined to 1 hour, rejection, then downside movements again. And I will show you an example of a scalp that I took yesterday. Gold. So basically I measured this range. We only entered here. We just tapped into the OT, and we also had M15 EG inside an M15 EG zone, which I think was also some sort of higher time frame zone. 30-minute EG, 1 hour SNR, yeah. And then it was like a basic over time frame entry. There was this like a breaker or something, but I entered off the FIB alone, and then we swept this low and went back up. Tapped into this wick, which on lower time frames should be some sort of a POI. But to me it doesn't look convincing still. And now if we want to look for short entries further down, we either measure the whole range, then at the OT we have this hidden base. Let's go to 4 hour. Have this hidden base on the 4 hour. OT, which there is nothing here, and there is nothing here. But we would basically measure this whole range, whole move, or just this. But to me, it doesn't really look convincing now. It looks like it wants to go up too. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, this is a trade that I took off the OT. I am at break even right now. And it's the same thing I expected, because we consolidated here, accumulated, so I expected manipulation and then distribution. So we just tapped into the OT perfectly. I entered with no drawdown basically, but as you can see, we are not distributing. So yeah. Okay, I have a trade on USD here that I took off the OT. Same thing. Another one here that hit TP after a while of consolidation. But look at this, look how like potent these zones are. We didn't tap it here, but we tapped it here. Then if we measure this zone, even these are good valid point of entries. And not only the OT is powerful, the 50% is also very powerful. You can often see price reacting off the 50%. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. Okay. So I measured this range. And then I had this level here, which is an SNR, like basic SNR, not a SNR. We just tapped into it. Swept this high, which was a third zoop. Went here. Swept these. Swept these, this one. Then came back, swept this. Came into the 80%. Just tapped it. Swept this high. Went here. 1 hour SNR. POY right here. And I'm pretty sure it was also the OTE. Yep. I hope you start seeing this, what I see. Look, is this? Yeah. Look at this. Just tapped into the zone and then rallied. And we had the sweep here. Okay. I hope you see what I see and that you make a good use of this. I will show the settings again. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I think it's one of the most basic tools, technical analysis tools that are very powerful. And if you pair it with the POIs that I'm teaching, structure, liquidity, it could be basically a strategy. You of course have to create a model around it, because you cannot like randomly trade like this. But it's very powerful. So yeah, see you in the next one.